Different face, different name, different city even, and somehow the same heartbreak waiting for you at the end like it always knew you'd arrive. You've been here before. You met someone, and it felt electric, alive, right in a way you couldn't explain. You told your friends this one was different. You believed it. And for a while, it was beautiful. Then slowly, the old ache crept back in. The distance, the chasing, the feeling of loving someone who could never quite love you back the way you needed. And it ended the way it always seems to end, leaving you standing in the same rubble, asking the same question. Why does this keep happening to me? If you've ever looked at the wreckage of your relationships and noticed they all rhyme, that they wear different faces, but repeat the same wound, this video is for you. Because this is not bad luck. It is not a broken picker. It is not that all the good ones are taken. Something in you is choosing, and it is choosing with a precision that would astonish you if you could see it. I'm the voice of shadow and self. I read the psychology so you don't have to, and I tell you the parts about yourself most people would rather not say out loud. So here's the first one. You are not attracted to what is good for you. You are attracted to what is familiar. And those are almost never the same thing. Let me explain. Carl Jung understood that the unconscious is not passive. It is not simply the basement where old memories go to sleep. It is active. It reaches up into your life and arranges things quietly without your permission. And one of the things it arranges is who you fall for. That jolt of chemistry you feel across a room, the one that feels like destiny, is very often not destiny at all. It is recognition. Something in this stranger matches something old in you, a tone of voice, a way of withholding, a warmth that comes and goes. Your body reads it instantly and calls it home. But here's the ache underneath it. The thing that feels like home may be the exact shape of what hurt you. If love, in your earliest years, came tangled with distance or fear or the constant work of earning it, then a calm and steady love will feel like nothing at all. It won't spark. It will bore you. And the one who keeps you slightly starving, slightly uncertain, always reaching that one will feel like the deepest love you've ever known. Because it matches the blueprint. It fits the wound. And the wound, more than your wishes, is doing the choosing. So where does this blueprint come from? Jung would point you back, further than you want to go, to the very first people who taught you what love was supposed to feel like. Long before you had words, you learned love by living it. And whatever love was then, that is what your nervous system encoded as love itself. If it was warm and reliable, you learned that love is safe. But if it was inconsistent, if the parent you longed for was there and then gone, close and then cold, adoring and then unreachable, then love became something else. Love became longing. Love became the ache of reaching for someone who is almost, but never quite, yours. There is a name for what your psyche does with this repetition compulsion. It sounds clinical, but the meaning is almost unbearably human. The psyche returns again and again to the scene of the original wound, not because it enjoys the pain, because it is trying desperately to master it, to go back-ish and finally win, to make the unavailable one stay, to make the cold one turn warm. This time, it whispers, I will be good enough, lovable enough, patient enough. And this time, they will love me the way I always needed. And so you choose. without knowing you're choosing someone shaped exactly like the person you could never reach. Jung spoke of the imago, the inner image of the parent that lives on inside you, buried in the unconscious. You do not see the real person in front of you, not fully. You see them through this old image, projected outward like a film onto a screen. That is why you can feel so certain about someone you barely know. You are not reacting to them. You're reacting to the ghost you've laid over them. The eyes that remind you of a love you had to earn. The silence that echoes a childhood silence. Your type, the one you swear you can't help, is not a preference at all. Your type is a wound with a face, and this is the cruelty of it. The unconscious is not trying to hurt you. It is trying to heal you in the only clumsy way it knows. It keeps casting the same play, handing the same role to a new actor, hoping that this performance will end differently. But it never does, because you cannot rewrite the past by restaging it with strangers. The parent who could not meet you then is not the person sitting across from you now. And no amount of loving the wrong person perfectly will reach back through time and make the first love finally arrive. The play just runs again. Same wound, same longing, same last act, different face. So let me say the thing most people never say out loud. As long as this pattern stays unconscious, you are not really free. You feel like you're choosing. You feel like you're falling in love. But you are being run quietly by a story that was written before you could speak. Jung put it plainly. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The same painful relationship over and over is not fate. It is a message you haven't read yet. Now here's the turn, the part that actually sets you free. You cannot change what you will not see. So the work begins not with finding a better partner, but with finally seeing the pattern for what it is. Look at the ones who hurt you and ask, honestly, what did they have in common? Not their looks, the feeling, the particular ache they stirred. Trace that ache backward gently to where you first felt it. Because the person you keep chasing in the present is standing in for someone you could never quite hold in the past. And then, the hardest and most healing thing of all, you have to grieve. Not the last relationship, the first wound, the love you needed as a child and did not receive in full. This is the part the psyche has been avoiding for your whole life, staging drama after drama precisely, so it would never have to feel this simple, quiet sorrow. But the pattern only ends when the grief is finally felt, when you stop trying to win the old love back through new people, and instead let yourself mourn that it was never yours to win, that it was never your fault, that a child cannot earn a love that isn't freely given. Jung called this individuation the slow becoming of a whole person, no longer ruled by the disowned parts of yourself. And on the other side of that grief, something changes in what draws you. The steady love stops feeling boring. The unavailable one stops feeling like fate. The hole that hunger kept trying to fill is no longer bottomless, because you have finally felt it and grieved it and let it close. And from that wholeness, for perhaps the first time, you can choose, not from the wound, not from the hunger, but from a self that is finally, quietly, enough on its own. And the play, at last, is over. This is shadow and self. If something in this found you, stay a while. There's more.